There are always two sides to the spectrum in football: victory and defeat. Away from the glory and star applause for Premier League title winners, a greater battle rages on at the other end of the table, the titanic relegation battle. Season after season, the not-so-strong teams huff and puff at the bottom of the table, fighting for a chance to right their wrongs during the season and prove themselves Premier League worthy. The 2022-2023 season is no different. With yet another relegation battle on the horizon and everything down to the wire, the teams bottom of the table have another fight on their hands. The titanic relegation battle on the horizon gives us the perfect excuse to talk about 5 greatest relegation escapes in Premier League history. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to be notified of our latest videos. Ready? Let's go! So, where do we start? We think West Brom is a great place. Having gained promotion from the Championship the season before, West Bromwich Albion FC were in for a rude awakening in the 2004-2005 season. At Christmas, the Baggies were bottom of the league and had all but confirmed their place in the Championship, almost like they wanted to be a yo-yo club. But like many great escapes, 3 wins and 4 draws in 10 games saw West Brom league chances hanging by a thread in their own hands. Going into the final game of the season, their destiny was in their own hands as they needed 3 points against Portsmouth to secure their place in the Premier League. Substitute Jeff Horsfield was the hero of the hour for the Baggies, and you know what I'm about to say. He scored the opener with a sweet volley and set up Kieran Richardson to give the Baggies a comfortable 2-0 win over Portsmouth and send the Hawthorns into wild celebrations. West Brom are in the Championship these days, Kieran Richardson is retired, and the man who oversaw West Brom's survival that season was Brian Robson, who, well, just remember that name. From West Brom to Oldham, and from Championship to the National League, Oldham Athletic had their fair share of dramatic escapes during their Premier League heyday. Far from England's most prestigious club, Oldham Athletic was a part of the inaugural Premier League season. For the first part of the season, the club were very clearly out of their depth. There's no other way of putting it. Following just 5 wins out of their first 21 games, Oldham were living dangerously at the bottom half of the table. Manager Joe Royle somehow managed to steady the ship and keep his team in the running for survival till the final day of the season. Going into the last day of the season, and despite winning 2 games in a row, Oldham still needed to beat relegation-threatened Southampton and hoped that Palace didn't take anything away from the game against Arsenal. As Crystal Palace fell 3-0 to Arsenal, Oldham Athletic survived a nerve-wracking 4-3 win over Southampton in a thrilling finale to the inaugural campaign. After enduring a thrilling survival, Oldham were relegated the next season and currently ply their trade in the National League. One team that's still very present with us today and doing great escapes is West Ham United. West Ham seemed to enjoy great escapes and always found a way to get the job done. They'd be in a tough spot, find some miraculous wins, rinse and repeat. We're sure it only happened a couple of times, but some exaggeration won't hurt, would it? West Ham began the 2006-2007 season under the stewardship of manager-turned-superstar Alan Pardew, but he was sacked and replaced by Alan Kirbishley in December 2006. With West Ham having won 5 times in the opening 17 league games, controversy surrounding the club and Alan Pardew riding a Ferrari around town, West Ham were getting hammered everywhere. Following Alan Kirbishley's appointment, things didn't magically turn around for the Hammers as a slew of heavy defeats saw them slip down to the bottom of the table. With 8 games remaining till the end of the season, West Ham got their acts together, putting on an impressive run of 6 wins in 8 games, as wins over Arsenal, Everton, Wigan Athletic and Bolton Wanderers. The impressive run of games handed the Londoners the keys to their own destiny, despite being 10 points from 17th place Manchester City in early March. You heard that right, Manchester City. Despite the success in recent games, it was difficult to see a route to safety for the Hammers as they faced Manchester United in the season finale to guarantee their place in the Premier League. Carlos Tevez scored the only goal for West Ham to ensure their stay in the Premier League for another season. The Hammers were not only safe, but finished the season in 15th place. Truly remarkable turnaround. Historic mainstays as London's oldest football club, Fulham, have also enjoyed miraculous relegation escapes of their own, and the 2007-2008 season was the peak of it all for the London club. There are two things more scary than relying on goal difference to confirm your place on the table: not scoring enough and conceding too many. Just ask Manchester United in the 2011-2012 season. Fulham entering their final game of the season, knowing a win against Portsmouth will definitely not keep them up alone. Reading and Birmingham City needed to score way less and concede way more for the Cottagers to remain in the league. Despite winning the game against Portsmouth by a single goal from Danny Murphy and Reading beating Derby 4-0, Fulham managed to stay in the Premier League with a superior goal difference of just 3. Bradford City's great escape in the 1999-2000 season is one that's been really overlooked due to their obvious lack of popularity these days. We think a strong case can be made for the Bantams and their escape in the 1999-2000 season. The Premier League debutants didn't have as much talent as most of the teams in this video and had an even higher mountain to climb. Going into April, things didn't get better for Paul Jewell's men as they remained rooted to the spot 6 points from safety with just 5 games to go. From the edge of despair, Bradford had one last rallying cry up their sleeves, with their miraculous run of 3 wins and a draw to leave them with their fate in their own hands in the final game against Champions League chasing Liverpool. They edged Liverpool in a 1-0 victory to leave Wimbledon in the final relegation spot and remain with the big boys for the next year. So, that's been it, guys. Which clubs do you think could survive relegation this season? Let us know in the comments section. While you do that, check out how Wrexham are building a football empire with Hollywood in this video, and subscribe so you get the first ring once we have a new video. We'll catch you next time. Peace out.